discuss my reading plans for 2024, as well as what I plan to read for Winterween. And that will be the cat wanting to come in, so give me a second. Okay, so she's in my room now, so if you hear meowing, she's in the room, that's why. And if you hear any noise, that's outside. Again, I can't do anything about those two. Right, so my reading goal for 2024 is pretty much the same as it was for 2023 and 2022, which is 100 books. So, one of my main goals is to, one, finish a bunch of series that I had hopefully planned to do in 2023, but that never came past. This included the vampire related crime series that I'm currently going through on Kindle Unlimited. I've got 2 left. I have the Bay Cozy Mystery series that I started, just never finished, and they should be quite quick to get through. Lord of the Rings, that was another series I wanted to finish because I read The Hobbit, I think in either December of 2022 or January of 2023. And I just never continued the rest of the series, even though that was one of the few series I said I wanted to read because I never did as a kid. The Legendborn series, I've read Legendborn, but I've not read Bloodmarks. I've got the Celestial Mechanism cycle that only has one other book, which is Doomfire, which is the Doomfire secret, but I just can't find it anywhere, and I cannot bring myself to buy just the second book. Because probably what will happen is that I'll buy the second book, but then I'll just donate it to my library, because the library does not have it. So yeah, there's conflicting feelings about that one. The Saviour's series, I had the goal to read The Saviour's Sister literally last year in December. It was one of my top 10 books to read before the end of the year. That did not come to pass. And the main reason is because The Saviour's Army was meant to be coming out. So I do plan on trying to get The Saviour's Sister read before Saviour's Army comes out. The other major series that I am determined to finish, and this one actually has the most books I need to get through, and that is the series of Unfortunate Events, because I had been trying to basically read the book, watch the episode, because I just wanted an excuse to rewatch the series. So I was able to finish the Asteria Academy last month, so I'll be moving on to the Astraz Elevator this month, hopefully. What other series were there? Yes, we've got Kendra. I cannot say her name. I'm gonna feel so bad. So basically, I've been reading a prolonged series by this author. It started off with the Sons of Wonderland, and then it moved on to the Daughters of Neverland. She has now since released, I think, 3 more to do with this overarching series. You technically don't need to read all of the series, but there is an overarching plot behind all these mini-series, so that's one of the reasons why I want to try and finish this. So we now have Heirs of Oz, Lords of Grimm, and then I think it's Keepers of Enchantment now. Now the thing is that part of me really wants to just reread Sons of Wonderland and Daughters of Neverland and then just move on to these, but I am afraid I may not have the time to do that. So we will see about that. I then have I think it was the Babysitter's Coven. I've recently just actually bought the second book in this series because I went to Forbidden Planet yesterday and I bought a load of books, even though I said to myself I wasn't going to do that this month, but I already broke my rule on the first day. So, yay. So I have the second book, which is the Better or Cursed, I believe, or It Smells Like Teen Spirit it's one of the two. I will double check that. I hope it's the second book. If not, I'm going to go and have to search for the second book. But I read Babysitter's Coven either last year or 2022. I'm not checking facts. So I would have to read that before I could even start to continue the series, because I've completely forgot what actually happens in that book. So yeah, there is probably like a few other series that I would like to get to finish or start. Definitely start, because I've got Gideon the Knife and I've got A Darker Shade of Magic literally above me, and they are literally screaming at me because I have not picked them up since. But yeah, so those are just the rough plans I have. Like, I've got literally a whole stack of books right over here which I need to get through. Not quickly, but one of them I do need to actually read quickly because it's a library book, and then I have two books that I need to read because they were on my before 2024 list, so they need to be read somewhat quickly, but it's not a main priority. What is going to be a priority, however, coming up in the next couple of days actually, is Winterween. So this is probably going to help me tackle some of the books that I plan to read in preparation, but it also depends on like how I'm feeling, what I'm doing for the week. So let's just get the prompts up. That'd be very, very helpful. Where are they? No, that's not it. Okay. So Winterween is going to be taking place from Friday the 5th of January to the 11th of January. I don't know what day that starts. So the first book is to read a prompt in the dark or at night. This is easy enough thanks to my job, because I work it's a hospitality job, and sometimes I finish at around 11:30, so by then it is dark, and given the fact we're also still in winter, it gets dark quite early, so even if I did not finish at 11:30, it will probably be dark enough for me to count it being in the dark or at night. Okay, so the next prompt is to read a book with a witch on the cover or in the title, or a book about witches. Now, I am not short of these at all in terms of witchy books, because I like witches, so I've got quite a few. I've got at least 3 up here, because I've got These Witches Don't Burn, I have that Babysitter's Coven book, I have, what's the other one? Oh, I can't see. Oh yeah, I have the Witch Hunter series up there as well, so that was the book I couldn't see. But I also do have some books on my Kindle which I kind of actually need to get to before I get to most of those up there. Okay, so one of the books that I want to 100% prioritise for this list is Witch Dust, because this book I've had for a while. I got it through the Vigorous Readers Only, and I was meant to read it and review it. Never happened, unfortunately, as quickly as I would have liked. So this is one book that I would like to prioritise, so this would be counting towards both that very first prompt, but I think it also counts towards some of the other prompts. This is also just me judging by the cover, which is probably not a good thing. But if I can show you, no, it's not going to let me show you. So I'll put up a little screenshot of it here. So essentially, yes, it is a book with witch in the title. It looks to be taking place in a snowy or winter setting, so that's kind of helpful. It also does have a W, which is the 5th prompt, in it, so that's all well and good. I also wanted to put Hex and Vexed and Mystical and Magical, which is actually the two other books in the the Bailey Bay Cozy Mystery series, and this is also a series set with witches in it. So that would be another series out the way if I was able to get through this, and they're about 2-3 hours each, so I can quite easily get through that. The only thing that was a little bit of a struggle with the prompts specifically was actually prompt number 4, which is to find a book with purple on the cover. I don't have many, I'm going to be honest. Like, I've got These Witches Don't Burn, I've got Darkness Outside of Us, which technically is a pinky purple, so I wasn't going to count that. I also have Violet Made of Thorns. I've got Spellbound, which has purple in it, but it's not a lot of purple. What else can I count? Nothing anymore up there. The book I am counting, but I will get it for you, but the cat is already got uncomfortable on my lap, so I can't move her, was Spinning. I will put a picture up on here, hopefully. This I actually got from a charity store. It's a manga. I wasn't too I just knew it was about ballet. It's probably got nothing to do with witches, but it's still something I would like to actually sit down and read. And because it's a manga, I might be able to get through it a little bit quicker, which means I'll have time for my other books. And I guess I could also include The Girl from the Other Side, but I want to save that for a different readathon, a different prompt. I'll read it when I get to it and stuff like that. I will mention a few other books that I may read for this. It's probably not going to happen, but we're not hoping, but we are trying. So I do have a few other books that I kind of would like to get to relatively quickly, because I have the Green Witchcraft for the Kitchen Witch, I have The Way of the Head Witch, which I also need to read. These also count for having witch in the title. I have The Witch Squads, which is a series I have yet to start. Anything else I can start? I have Kingdom for Wicked, but that's that's a different type of book. I still have Witches Steeped in Gold. Again, this is a book that I tried reading last year, DNF'd, maybe because I was reading it in the wrong format, I don't know. I have The Wrath and the Dawn, which I have on audio as well, so that could be one. Anything else I could read that could work? I've got nothing else on my Kindle that I could possibly read, but we will double check my other apps, because I have 2 other books I need to read, but they're for 2 different reasons. So I have currently I have borrowed The Raven Boys, which I might actually have to read pretty quickly because someone else wants to read it, but to be honest I do have it on my Kindle, so I'm not too worried about that. But I also have V for Vendetta, which I plan to actually read today, so that's another book off my reading list. This is actually from on my Libby app, because I've got a few things on my Libby that was just easier for me to borrow from them. So I've got A League of Gentle Women Witches, which I could use. When Ghosts Call Us Home. The Forest Demands Its Due. That was meant to be good, apparently. What Lies Beyond the Veil. Lone Wolf. That is only 5 hours. The Call of the Wild. Never actually read that, so I thought that would be a good thing to put on my list. Ooh, what else could I use? Song Below Water. This was one that I tried to read last year. Just couldn't get into it at the time I was reading it, so I know I have holds. But I don't think I'm going to get them this week. I think the only one I'm going to be getting this week is probably The House of Salt and Sorrows. So yeah, that's not going to be helpful. The one book that I'm actually reading for a book club is Never Lie. Unfortunately, I can't include this in any of the prompts because the cover is white. It is not a witchy book. I don't believe it is set in a snowy scene. So this is one I can read after the readathon. So yeah, those are my reading goals for 2024 and Winterween Readathon. That is literally in 3 days. Because we are on the 2nd of January and this starts on the 5th of January. Okay, so I'm going to go read something and maybe film one more video because I've got other videos I need to film today. But I will see you in my next video whenever I post it. Have a nice day, night, or whatever time it is where you are.